Good evening, Lake Orion. Coming to you in high def here on ONTV. My name is Ian Witherspoon. I am the host.
Glad needs the raise. You must have paid somebody. Welcome to Between Taorminas, everybody. How is everything? You paid somebody.
How much is Joe bought and paid for? How much is it?
Yeah, how much? Well, you know that Joe Johnson does produce History Now, the greatest show of all time other than Between Taorminas.
That's an opinion, not a fact.
Not a fact.
Not a fact.
Not a fact. No, I think it's fact.
How much you pay Joe?
How much?
I'm telling Ian.
Yeah.
There's some issues with that.
Yes.
Legal.
Yes. Yes. I'm not going to.
The FCC would really like to hear about
Or the
this.
Kansas City Royals would like to hear about
The Kansas City Royals don't need to hear anything.
They do.
No.
I think there's an investigation going around surrounding you and the Kansas City Royals. They have a connection.
Who
The
does?
St. Louis Cardinals are being investigated. But,
Good. About time.
you know, I think that you need to be investigated by the Kansas City Royals
Why?
because they lead the AL Central by 4 games
So?
over your Tigers.
So?
It's over for you.
It's June.
It's not. It's getting. Yeah, but it's 1 month closer to the end of the season.
What's going to happen when the Tigers finally win the World Series? What do I get from you? I get anything?
A dinner.
A dinner?
A dinner.
The day the Tigers win the World Series,
Yep.
I get a dinner from you.
Yes.
Where are we going?
Olive Garden.
Ooh. I thought you were going to say, 99-cent menu at Wendy's.
Probably.
Pick one item. No, I don't want that. What do you think, Ant? You think this team, do you see potential? I know they're 4 games back. I know they're kind of still middling along a little bit. They're not blowing anybody's doors off. But do you see could this team contend? Could this team
Do I
contend?
think the Tigers can contend?
Yes.
Right
at
now,
their roster
the way
and
they're
the talent.
right now, the way they're playing right now, to be honest with you, right now, they got a lot of work to do.
They do.
They got a lot. They've got a
do.
lot of. You look at. They need to have a stretch where they are hot. There's too many games they've lost. Too many games they should have won that they've lost.
True.
And a great example is last night against the Cincinnati Reds.
I didn't see it.
But
So I can't
my
speak
point
to
is
it.
the Tigers are losing to teams that they should not be losing to. Also, the home record, to be honest with you, is atrocious. They need to fix that record at home for the Tigers to even look at competing in the AL Central. Because right now, if you look at it, and you also gotta hope that the Kansas City Royals and the Minnesota Twins start struggling because right now, and the Tigers got to get hot. Because right now, the way that it looks right now, Kansas City seems borderline to run away with the division right now. The bullpen. This is a bullpen that we talked about on so many occasions. This bullpen is starting to come back to life, which they are not a very good bullpen. This is not, besides Joaquin Soria, who do you trust? I don't trust any of those players in the bullpen besides Soria. I really don't.
That's about it.
I mean, you look at Shane Green's now down in the minors, and of course their 5th starter, I think
Kyle Ryan.
Kyle Ryan. He's been a disappointment.
He's okay.
Okay, not great.
He's okay.
But I know they got Verlander, Price back. And Sandoval Sanchez started coming along, but they need their 4-5. You know what I mean? Simon, I think he's having an okay year, but I think that that number 5 slot's a huge problem for this team. They got the starting pitching. It's just the problem is their bullpen, and of course their offense spurts in games.
Their starters really aren't too bad. The starting 5, not too bad.
The hitting is
I
would say there's 4
because
the thing is they're having consistency issues at consistently hitting, and it's impacting this ball club, and I think fans are going to get frustrated because you look at how, this Tiger team is better than what they're producing right now on the field, and fans are eventually going to get frustrated about that, and they're going to look for scapegoats, and the scapegoats are going to be Osmus, and then Dombrowski.
Castellanos might be finding his way onto that list.
Yep, he could be going back down.
He continues to struggle.
Yeah, he could go back down to the minors. The problem is Tigers don't have a third baseman in the minor leagues that could back up Castellanos' production. They trade away most of their minor league system.
It'd be Josh Wilson.
Josh Wilson's not that good.
He's not that good, but that's what it would be. He's a better third baseman than Nick is, though, defensively.
But who would you suggest putting at third base?
I just told you.
Josh Wilson's not
all
that
right,
good.
you want to have a little fun? Let's have a little fun. What do the Tigers need lineup-wise? They need a lefty bat, right?
Yes.
They could also use a starting pitcher.
You hear the Tigers and the Yankees are in trade discussions?
No.
They're looking into potentially trading some minor leaguers to the Yankees for a big name.
I got a couple big names for you. What if you move Miguel back to third, Victor's DHing, and you bring in a new first baseman named Ryan Howard?
No, that will not happen. That would be a defensive disaster, first of all. That would be a defensive disaster, first of all. Good suggestion.
Does it intrigue you at least?
No.
It doesn't get you thinking a little bit?
No, doesn't get me thinking.
I think Cabrera's offense is too
as
valuable to have him get hurt on the.
It's true.
Howard's not as good as he used to be.
I know,
Because
but you need a lefty
that
bat.
will not make sense if he come for this team. I mean, it also would be a disaster if you think about it, if you put Cabrera back at third, because that would be. I know he can play third base, but it'll be a just absolute disaster.
Think about who's at shortstop now and the range of that person at shortstop.
Iglesias.
That can kind of help Miggy at third. Kind of helps fill in a little
Yeah,
gap there.
but would you want to be more smoother at first, or do you want to play him at third? I think if you play him at first, it makes it more easy for Cabrera.
He should absolutely be playing at first. But lefty bat, has power.
Then we're going about this with Prince Fielder
there.
again. We're going to this all over again. Remember
It's true.
Prince Fielder?
It's very
you know
true.
What I mean? When they brought him in, they moved Miggy to third. I mean, like, we're just thinking
They
now,
also went to the World Series. the
Yes,
first
I
year
know
of
they went to
Prince
the World
Fielder's.
Series. But it's like you're bringing in,
Prince doing pretty good in Texas right now.
yeah.
He is. He
Or
should be
maybe,
starting over
or if
Hosmer.
you ever thought about it, back if we're taking the discussion, I would probably start Victor at first base.
Can't do that.
Why?
Knee. They won't do that.
But
They won't do that.
But there's nobody in the farm that's as good right now. As
They
third
could always
base.
do trades.
They got to make one. They have to make one. Ryan Howard don't make any sense.
He makes some sense.
He doesn't make any
He
sense.
makes some sense.
No, he does not.
Sam,
Ian.
he makes some sense.
No, he does not.
Lefty power bat. Needs a change of scenery. Phillies will pay a lot of money to get him out of there.
You know who I think would look good in a Tigers uniform? Adrian Beltre. He would look good in a Tigers uniform.
He'd look darn good.
He's a third baseman.
He's
Has
also a
some power.
righty.
He's a
He's
ri-
also a righty. Need a
Yeah.
lefty bat.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not disputing that.
I think Adrian Beltre would make a lot of sense.
He would. Then what do? Throw Nick in the minors for another till the end of the year?
Maybe.
See if we can get it all
Yeah.
squared away next year.
Yeah, I think so.
You're jerking Nick around though. That's not good.
Yeah,
But if he's not ready, he's
if
not
he's
ready.
not if he's not ready, he's not ready.
If he's not ready, he's not ready.
Yep.
Yep.
And right now the season's proving he's not ready. I think that when you look at the third baseman, Castellanos been a disaster, but Howard don't make any sense. Howard really doesn't make any sense to bring him in. And of course, who knows? What if Evan Longoria comes available? Tampa Bay, you know what I mean?
He's your franchise
I know he is.
icon.
I know
He will go nowhere.
Yeah, I know he will go.
Ant, any words?
Nope. You two just said everything. I mean, it's hard to get a lefty third baseman.
It's hard to get a
It's very
lefty
hard.
bat. in
It's
general.
hard. It's hard.
All right, well, that'll do it for this segment of Tiger Talk here on Between Taorminas. Stay tuned for more rousing sports interaction.
Hello, I'm Oakland County Sheriff Mike.
Shut up.
And I'm former Detroit Red Wings.
Who is that?
We'd like to remind you to practice safe boating by knowing the laws regarding water safety.
Please make sure you have the necessary safety equipment on board and be sure all of your equipment is working properly before leaving the dock.
And the probability of being involved in a boating accident nearly doubles when alcohol is involved. Always check local weather conditions, and if you notice darkening clouds, play it safe. Get off the water. Have a safe, enjoyable summer on the lake.
Joining us. What are we talking about?
Look
Any
at
idea?
Sammy's wonderful faces on there.
Get out of here. Get out of my shot.
We got
Get out of my
hockey.
shot.
We got hockey recap. Stanley Cup final.
Who won? The Bears?
You know your favorite team. It
The
goes
Solar
like this.
Bears?
No, it goes like this. Da 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 da.
That doesn't sound at all
Chicago
familiar.
Blackhawks. Won a third Stanley Cup in 6 years.
About tired of them.
Yeah, a lot of people are. Hey, they got salary cap issues.
Good. Who can we get from their roster on our team?
You only got $9 million to spend.
Only?
Only $9 million.
That will go a long way in hockey.
That will not go a long way. In
That's
hockey.
two decently priced players.
No, that's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
And
You're in so much trouble.
shut up.
You shut up.
Shut
Jeff
up.
Basham being your coach, you're in so much trouble.
Who?
Jeff Basham's your coach.
Who?
You're in so much trouble.
Who?
You know who.
What's his name again? Jim Blashill? That's not his name. What's his name?
Jeff Basham.
What's his name? I can't remember the man's name.
Yeah, it's Jeff Basham.
That's not it.
Yeah, it is.
Blashill?
Yeah,
Basham?
He's the coach in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I remember him. But
Yeah,
what's his
so-
name? I can't remember his real name.
Jeff Blashill. Anyways,
that
before
his
you
name?
two,
Really?
before
Doesn't
you
sound
two
right.
argue about, before you two argue about Dolls or Us, which you guys always argue about.
Anthony?
No, let me.
Anthony?
My point. Zip it. Okay. My point is this: it is an end of an era in Chicago. Okay. Because if you look at Chicago, is over the cap.
Yep.
Chicago, because there is a cap of, I believe it's
71 million
71
now.
million.
They're at 76.
Okay, so Chicago's got to scrap out 5 million. Chicago has two of the most priciest players in the NHL right now, Tells and Kane.
Jonathan Thames and Patrick
Thames
Kane.
and Kane.
They're not
So-
going anywhere.
Yeah, but unless they renegotiate their contracts, Chicago's going to be over that, and they could get in. Possibly they'll have to pay some fines to the NHL, and I just think that it's an end of a dynasty. Also, you got Joe Quenneville's in trouble with both management, and the players are not too fond of Joe Quenneville over in Chicago, even though he's won the Stanley Cup again. They're not too fond of him, so. You're looking at is that Chicago is they gotta get at least the 71 million, or else they're gonna have to pay a stupid luxury tax.
You got Brent Seabrooks is available, who's a defenseman from Chicago. I think he would make perfect sense in Texas, to be honest with you. Dallas is a defensive bad.
Who plays hockey in Texas?
Boy. They play hockey in Texas.
4 people play hockey in Texas.
Let's see. A perfect person who would fit your team would be, you would have to get rid of your top prospect for who was the number 3 pick in the 2010 draft? I've been hearing rumors that he can go to Detroit.
Why don't you go to Babies R Us?
No, you go to Ponies R Us. So
Why don't you go to
that's
Babies
what
R Us?
that's what I've
Why
been
don't
hearing
you?
rumors.
Why don't you dress up as? Why don't you dress and go in a dress?
Here's the thing: when you look at the off season, of course, Tampa Bay's in for Tampa Bay they're under cap. They got under the cap. Next year they're in deep trouble when it comes to cap. But Tampa Bay next year is going to be a team that's going to contend big time in that Eastern Conference.
Tampa Bay is a very, very scary team. If you look at they're young, their core is young. They just how they got to the Stanley Cup final, so that gives you a lot of confidence there. They got a pretty decent general manager in Steve Yzerman, who had to go against Scotty Bowman, I might add. So
Who were both Red Wings.
well,
you know
yeah,
what?
both
You
of
know
them
what
should have
turned
been.
Tampa's season around? Winning at Game 6 in Detroit.
Yeah,
that's
that
what
did.
turned around their whole. That's what
That
turned
did.
around their playoffs in that team. That's why Tampa Bay went to the Stanley Cup final, because that game in Detroit gave them a lot of confidence. Ended up getting them through the semifinals and the conference finals. So that was the game I think that
They
changed
won
Tampa
in
Bay.
7 in New York.
Yep. But the game in Detroit really changed everything for Tampa Bay.
Oh, you shut your
You
yapper.
shut up. You shut that yap. Hey, the odds came out. Ian's 33-1 odds. You and me are both 66-1 odds to win Stanley Cup next year.
That's bad for you and I, and good for him.
It's okay for me, bad for you, knuckleheads.
Hey, Stars are going to make the playoffs. Don't worry about it.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
and
they
I'm
will.
not worried about it because no, they won't.
They will. Hey, the Western Conference is a much tougher conference than the East.
No, it's not.
The Central Division is a much tougher division in the league than anybody.
Shush.
You shut.
Hey, on other news, what do you think about the potential of the Arizona Coyotes moving out of Glendale and potentially moving to Quebec? Will that impact the Wings in a way, maybe making them either barely stay east or will they go back to the west? If that happens, I mean, it's only speculation because of what's going on in Glendale. Sam, you know this story as well as I do. The city of Glendale will not let
It's over the lease agreement with the arena over there. It's a very similar situation with Detroit with Joe Louis Arena, of course.
Except we like hockey out here, and so we make appropriate accommodations.
Yeah, and then but they're having some problems up there in Arizona, in Glendale. When you look at the situation there with the Coyotes, I know Arizona city government wants to keep them in Phoenix. You know what I mean? In that area, in the Phoenix area, the Glendale area. But if things don't go right, you've got a lot of options there. You got a Seattle option, a Las Vegas option. You got a Quebec option.
Quebec's pushing for hockey. Come
Quebec's
back there.
pushing really hard for hockey, and I think if they were to go to Quebec, I would think Columbus would be in a much better situation to go west than Detroit would be because of the proximity. Even though I think Detroit is much better suited right now for the Eastern Conference, but with Columbus going out west, I think that would make a lot of sense.
I'd like to see the Wings go out west and suffer.
Why? How would we suffer?
Because the Wings just flat out are not good in the West.
Well, who goes to the Pacific Division then?
Who goes to
Colorado.
the playoffs
Oh, yeah.
every year?
Colorado goes to the Pacific.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That would actually hurt me, Sammy.
Yeah, it would hurt you. He won't make the playoffs for sure. But if
We
he was
just
in the
seem to
Western
make the
Conference,
playoffs.
if you're in the Western Conference, you wouldn't even make the playoffs.
We did for 22 years.
Yeah, it won't happen next year.
We'll make the playoffs.
Because you're in a weak, sorry conference. That's what the Eastern Conference is. The weak, sorry conference.
He actually is speaking the truth.
The Western Conference is a tougher conference to get
He is
into
speaking
the
the
playoffs. 5 teams in the Central Division last year got into the playoffs.
Sammy, how long were the Red Wings in the Western Conference?
They would not
And
survive
how
in
many
this
years
type of
did
division.
they make the playoffs
They would
in the
not-
Western
They
Conference?
would not survive in this type of
They
division.
would not survive
They would
if
not.
they go to the Central. They,
They
would not survive.
survive.
Because, let's see, Minnesota's a better team. Dallas will be a better team. You got St. Louis in there. Chicago's in there. I mean, Winnipeg's in there. I mean, you won't even survive if you play in the Western Conference.
Again.
Because here's why. You need 2 centermen to play in that conference. You need 2 centermen. You do.
Why?
Because if you look at it here, with all the centers you have in that division, if you don't have a true number 2 center, you ain't gonna win. Chicago had that. Tampa Bay, didn't have that type of center. And you look at a team like Detroit, they're getting a little older.
They're like the youngest team in the league.
They're not the youngest team in the league. They're pretty old.
They're not old.
Yes, they are.
There's a couple guys that are old.
They're old.
All right, I'm done.
I'm done too.
Team makes the playoffs for over 20 years in the conference, and you say they can't make the playoffs.
They will not make playoffs next year. They will not make the playoffs next year. They will not.
You want to bet on that one?
No. We'll think about it once it gets closer.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to try to not get spit on by Sammy. Stay tuned.
Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Hello, Lake Orion and Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina here, talking a new show here called OA Now. We're going to talk about sports from football to basketball to volleyball to track and field to soccer, cross country, etc. here on OA Now on ONTV.
Hi, welcome back. LeBron James didn't win a championship, and the city of Cleveland suffers another year. God bless America.
Why are you saying Cleveland suffered?
Because their town has not won a professional sports championship since the mid-'60s.
Yep.
He's right on there. You are
You're
right.
right.
Good statistic.
And they sniffed it. They could almost taste it, but they couldn't touch it because they lost to the Golden State Warriors
Yep.
in 6 games.
Yep, and Draymond Green got a ring.
And you know what? I'm happy about that.
Well,
I have a warm feeling when the city of Cleveland suffers
why?
because I don't like them.
Why? What has the city of Cleveland done to you?
Oh, enough.
Like, what has the Cleveland Browns done to you? What
I
has the
went
Cleveland Indians
to a
done
Cleveland Browns Detroit Lions game in the fall of 2013. The Lions were down by 1 point at the half, and we walked to the bathroom from our seats, and we heard a lot of negative things being said to us wearing our Lions gear. We heard how much our team sucked because the Browns were up.
Yep.
We had threats made on our lives.
Oh.
Pretty common.
And the only thing that happened is in the second half, the Lions took the Browns to the dog pound, locked them in, threw away the key,
It just killed them.
and made out with a win.
Isn't it always nice when you go into another team's road, or other team's gym and get a win there?
Yep.
Hey,
Nothing better.
Hey, J.R. Smith's been a really nice player in this series. Yeah, right. I mean, LeBron James has scored 40 points, 11 assists, and 14 rebounds, and Cleveland still loses. My God. If
You can't win
imagine-
You can't win a
imagine
game
they
with
had-
40 points.
Imagine they had Kylie Irving and Kevin Love for that series.
It would have been a lot
Would have
different.
been a lot different. You know what I mean? Cleveland would have probably won that championship.
Maybe.
Maybe. But
Still,
they neutral. I mean, Steph Curry, you know what I mean? He's had a. he played
Andre
at Davidson.
Iguodala was the MVP of the series. First time, and he didn't
I
even
don't
start.
think so. I don't think he should have been.
Well, I mean, you look at Andre,
He had his great role.
He had a great. I mean, Andre Iguodala played great. Draymond Green played great. You notice when
He had a couple bad games, but he
played
bounced
it,
back.
That game 4.
and then Steph Curry obviously was the centerpiece of why Golden State won the NBA championship.
Klay Thompson was a
Klay
non-factor
Thompson was
for
not a
most of
factor,
the time.
no.
It was not a non-factor. And then,
Because Iguodala
I
was
mean,
doing
the
most of the
strategy of going small ball,
Game 4.
and then also Golden State had depth. It's very nice to have somebody like Andre Iguodala come off the bench. Someone like a David Lee, who played very sparingly. He came off the bench. Leandro Barbosa, another guy who came off the bench. It's very, very nice to have depth. And the teams that have won the NBA championship, and including the Pistons in 2004,
They've got role players.
Who had role players and had depth. And
They got a good
that
six-man.
that played a very big role in the series.
Any thoughts on our local NBA team? They made a move.
That means Greg Monroe's done.
Yes. Thoughts?
I think sign and trade makes sense with him going to the Knicks.
Ugh.
Yeah, Pistons need a small backup, small forward. You know what I mean?
Well, what about there's a guy we just mentioned. He went to MSU, hails from
Draymond Green.
Saginaw.
Here's the problem.
Day.
Here's the problem with Day. He's a restricted free agent.
Yes.
Golden State's gonna have to pay him a lot of money.
They will match offers.
They will match offers.
Yep.
Pistons will probably give him an offer.
You think so?
I think they will, but I think Golden State's gonna match it handily, even if they give him the max deal.
Well, hey, you know what? You think it's worth getting involved?
I think it is.
You think
He is small
I
forward.
think he'd be a good role player on this team.
I think the Pistons need a small forward.
Need a leader. He's a leader as well, and he can hit a three. Stan Van Gundy loves dropping bombs.
He loves three.
He
pointers.
loves
three-pointers.
men that can shoot the three.
I think Draymond Green makes perfect sense. I think the Pistons should make a run at it.
He'd be coming home too.
And then, of course, you have the new guy the Pistons got. I think he plays a small forward.
No, he's going to be a 4.
Oh, he's a 4?
Ilyasova.
Ilyasova,
Yeah, he's a
He's
4.
going to be a 4. I think that it's an interesting
Well,
move
also
for
the
the
Pistons
Pistons,
they gotta pay Reggie Jackson. You know what I mean? Because he's a restricted free agent.
Yep.
You know. So.
And then you got two point guards. You got Brandon Jennings,
but
hopefully coming back.
Jennings.
Yeah. Then who's starting?
Well,
I think Brandon Jennings is going to make a run as leader of the team. You know, it looks like he had been leader of the team till he got hurt.
he was, and then Stan made a trade to
Right,
bring in a
Reggie
new leader.
Jackson. Yeah, Reggie Jackson.
So the question will be, how do they get along? We'll have to see.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't
If
know.
you had Brandon Jennings coming off the bench, you're doing pretty well. But will he go for that? I doubt it.
Reggie Jackson was in the bench in Oklahoma City.
And he's made it very clear he does not want to do that again. And I
No.
don't think Stan brought him in here to do that either.
No, so
He brought him here to be a
Stan
starter.
Van Gundy's going to have a real conflict on his hands.
Would you trade Brandon Jennings to get somebody back in
Hey.
return?
Hey, it's never bad to have good players. You'll figure it out. And if they have to trade him, yeah, I think they could. But he's coming back from a pretty severe injury. So it's kind of dependent on how he heals.
Maybe it's smart for him to
I feel like the Pistons should not, to be honest with you, and you'll get mad at me about this, both of you. I don't think that Clyde came in. I don't think they should have got Reggie Jackson. I really, really don't think they should have got Reggie Jackson, because you look at this, it's going to cause friction in the future, and you look at the Pistons were in a pretty good place until Stan Van Gundy made all those trades.
I think
Now, do I think the young man from Milwaukee coming in, he's going to be a good trade. He's a good trade. He'll be a good pickup. But
the problem with him is he's not as good a rebounder as
Monroe.
Greg Monroe was. But I could see this thing possibly working with Reggie Jackson and Greg. And,
do you think Monroe will come back or
Brandon
no?
Jennings. No, I don't think he's coming back. But
What about Ewing?
I
No,
can see it.
no
I
way.
can see it work between Reggie Jackson and Brandon Jennings. Like Ian said, Jennings coming off a bad injury. I think he'll probably start some time on the bench. You know what I mean? And then possibly being that sixth man. You know what I mean? I think
Everybody wants
everyone
about start.
Everyone wants to start.
Everyone wants to start. Everyone wants those minutes. But I mean, when I look at team, and this goes for every sport that there is no I in team. Everybody has a role, and you either want to be a part of the team or you're going to be apart from the team.
True.
So it's your choice. It's a choice.
And I think with Brandon Jennings, it might be wise for him to stay and to embrace the backup role and build some value in the league again for either a trade at the deadline or when he's a free agent,
right.
which I believe he might be after this year. Maybe
Probably.
not. So it could work out.
It could.
We'll see.
And-
But I mean, I just don't feel comfortable putting a franchise tag on Reggie Jackson.
Well, I know you're not a huge supporter, but the good news is for the first time in a while with the Pistons, they have a man at the helm that is the clear boss. And if you cross the boss,
You're done.
you're apart from the team. So, Stan's rules go. And that is not a bad thing because he knows what he's doing, in my opinion.
Does he?
Does he?
I think
I mean,
he
he
does.
hasn't won an NBA championship.
No.
He's gotten close a couple times.
He's gotten close. He's gotten close. Maybe this is the town to do it. Hey, it's all about the fit, right?
And then the Pistons got to get by the Bulls. They got to get by the Cavs. They got to get by the, Pacers.
Hawks.
The Bucks, Hawks, and
The Knicks.
No, not
just
the-
kidding.
not the
Seen you through a
They're a
wig.
better team than Knicks.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
you just-
yes.
I mean, the Pistons have got to become, what they were back in the day, and they got to become
They need talent.
They need to become one of the established teams in the NBA again. And right now they're still, they're getting there, but they're like a joke right now.
I think they've moved out of the realm of joke.
Yeah.
They used to be a complete laughingstock.
Right.
Now they have an ownership group that's willing to spend. They have a man in charge that's a basketball man. They're not a joke anymore.
No, I think they're mediocrity right now.
They're mediocre right now.
Mediocre. Yep. They need to.
But
fix
let's
that.
hope that doesn't last long. You got to build, though.
We'll see.
Rome wasn't built in a day. And say goodnight.
Ta-ta for now.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for more ONTV.